Have you ever noticed your child can sing every word of a favorite song, but then struggles to say those same words in conversation? Or maybe your child isn't talking yet. They avoid back and forth interaction. They have difficulty with rhythm or imitation. Or simply seem to learn differently than other children. Well, what if music could be a bridge? In this episode, we're exploring how music creates a safe space for children to learn. The predictable rhythm, repetition, melody, and patterns found in songs slow language down, making it easier for the brain to process and remember, and eventually use that language. Research continues to show that music activates multiple areas of the brain at once, helping strengthen memory, movement, attention, and learning in ways that ordinary conversation often cannot. My guest knows this personally because as a child, she was largely nonverbal until she was 4 or 5 years old. Yet, music became the place where language finally made sense for her. Today, she's an award-winning children's musician whose songs are intentionally designed to build language, communication, and connection for all children, especially those who learn differently. So if you've ever wondered whether music could help your child communicate, this conversation might open an entirely new way of thinking about learning. Does your child have a speech-language delay and you really want them to talk? Do difficult behaviors derail home life and you know the frustration is a communication struggle? Does your child see a speech therapist and you wonder, what do they do and how can I help? If these or similar questions are in your mind, this podcast is for you. Hello, my name is Dina Lynn Rosenbusch. I am a speech-language pathologist that has worked with children from birth to 21 for 3 decades. And in my classrooms, I see you wanting to connect with the heart of your child, but their speech and language skills create a barrier. So if you have a kiddo that has difficult behaviors, needs to expand their language or learn to say speech sounds, and maybe even receives speech therapy, stay tuned. Because in this podcast, you will learn how to use your daily life as a tool to communication practice and how to do that practice. You will become confident knowing you are making the difference you want to make. And you will hear success stories of parents who have navigated these struggles already. We'll do this all while focusing on building deep, meaningful connection and confidence in your kiddo. So grab a cup of coffee along with a notebook and pen. It's time to speak in the way your child's brain understands. And that is the language of play. Hello listeners, I am glad you're here. And as we get started, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors. First is Clever Ellie, the car charger that talks to you. Those of you that know me know that I love things to be easier. Anything to make life easier. And we live in a world of interruptions, notifications, changing schedules, and 1,000 things competing for our attention every day. One of my goals is always to find practical solutions that support us with kindness rather than adding stress. And that is one reason that I appreciate Clever Ellie. It's incredibly simple. You plug it into your car like a regular charger, and then you can practically forget about it. It still charges your devices, but when you're getting out of your car, it gives you a gentle voice reminder to check the back seat. We all know that loving parents can get distracted, and this is a simple, practical way to create an important safety habit without adding one more thing to remember. It's one of those set and forget it tools that can make a meaningful difference. Follow the link in the show notes to learn more. And don't forget to claim your free charging cable bonus for the listeners of The Language of Play. And I want to call out our second sponsor, and that is Real Prosperity, Inc. Many of us never received financial education growing up. We learned to work hard, but not necessarily how to create long-term financial security. That's one reason I shared Penelope Jane Smith's free ebook recently. And if you missed it, you can still download it through the show notes. Penelope offers a 3-day immersion called Financial Freedom 101. I've attended it twice, and each time I've been amazed by how much useful information she fits into those 3 days. Somehow, the event moves quickly, keeping me engaged, and leaves us with practical next steps instead of just inspiration. And for someone like me, who doesn't like to sit for 3 days online, that seemed like it would be terrible, but it was actually amazingly helpful and interesting. I walked away feeling empowered and equipped rather than overwhelmed. As a listener of the Language of Play, you can attend at no cost through the link in the show notes. The normal price of this event is $14.97. That's $1,497. It's the weekend. So if you're listening years later, don't worry. Follow the links anyway to access the book and discover whatever Penelope Jane Smith is working on currently. All right, now let's get into today's episode where we talk with Margot Bevington. Thank you, Margot, for being here today on the Language of Play. I am so excited you're here. I listened to your music on Spotify and totally loved it. It's so neurologically great for kiddos. It's so brain friendly. I love it. Tell us as we begin a little bit about you as the human being, as the person you are before we get into the business of what you do.
Sure. Well, so my name is Margot,
Margot,
and
sorry, I said it wrong. I look
no,
at the spelling and I keep saying that T and I know better.
no, it's fine. Yeah, um I love music. I have since I was a child. Music really helped me acquire language, and um I had an affinity to music. I learned music and playing piano from a young age. I was able to teach myself. So, just music has been a big part of my life, and I feel really lucky as an adult to share music with children, and hopefully, children can use it as a tool to acquire language like I did.
I love it. So now we're going to unpack that because that goes straight into the main topic of today. I love that. So you said that music helped you acquire language. And I know that music impacts the left and right hemisphere working together. It gives you rhythm, it gives you tone, it gives you so many pieces and parts of the foundations of language before we even attach words to it. Tell us why or how come you needed language to help you. You needed music to help you develop language.
I think that music made language so appealing, and it also slowed it down. I'll just give you an example of a really early sound memory I have. This song is from Sesame Street, and if you're of an age, you might recognize it
I
as
remember
well.
Sesame Street. I watched Sesame
Yes.
Street.
So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Do, 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 do. And so that was like such a catchy tune, and it just repeated like many times. And
Mm-hmm.
so that made it appealing. One, it's a catchy melody. It made it more accessible because of the repetition.
Mm-hmm.
It presented a pattern of the counting and that was predictable and related to other things. You can count many things, not just in the song. You can count 12 of anything. That's just one example. That's one that sticks out for me for sure.
I remember that song. I
Mhm.
remember actually learning how to count because of that song. The idea of the counting is one thing. language of the word we say that represents the number, is part of the
Mhm.
language piece of it. But I think it's common for moms and dads to listen to that and think, oh, they're learning to count. But I want them to learn words. And it's not actually different, but yet it's perceived differently. Can you think of some other songs that helped you remember or learn that language itself, how to communicate with people and interact, was part of the song?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Um, I can remember just simple hello songs.
Mm-hmm.
Sesame Street also had a simple hello song and also learning how to say it in Spanish.
Yes.
So, I start all of my classes for little ones with a simple hello song. This is how we say hello. We can also sign hello. When we say hello, we're greeting each other, we're looking at each other in the eyes, or smiling. That's the start of communication in one
Mm-hmm.
instance. Yes.
I love that. I remember the hello song too. I probably couldn't sing it in tune as well as you do, but I also remember Mr. Rogers. He had the
Hmm.
"Won't you be my neighbor?" And that one
Yes.
too teaches our kiddos an interaction, a way to interact. As interactions happened in Sesame Street and in Mr. Rogers, we had these different tunes that would be linked up to the interaction that's being had right at that time. Even Oscar the Grouch had an interaction pattern with
Hmm.
his songs. Who do you typically teach music to?
Throughout my adult life, I've taught all ages. I am focusing now on early childhood music classes. And so just this morning, I was teaching at a preschool, and we did the hello song among many others that were designed to be theme related. We're talking about
Mm-hmm.
summer, we're talking about fireflies, we're talking about things children might see, fireworks. We're acting it out, we're making connections. One of my favorite things outside of just singing the song, kids will tell me, what they know about fireflies, and they had one on their hand. It makes them remember a story that's kind of unrelated, but they share it anyway. And it's just a chance for them to make a connection, use language as they can. Yeah, music is great to just bring up so many things. And I like how you said, it's the context. It's not just the music, it's the emotion behind it. And I love your example of Mr. Rogers. Even if you're not looking at Mr. Rogers, I think you can hear the warmth in his tone. I just love Mr. Rogers, the whimsical nature of the music. It's just so lighthearted, it's warm, and kids pick up on that as well. It's part of learning about feelings, about empathy, all that good stuff. And that's something that I really wanted to put into my album and my music as well.
I love how you're taking music. There's something about the neurologic system in kiddos that relaxes with music. So they no longer have any defense. They no longer have any worries in the world. They're just dancing and they're happy. And in that space of being playful and happy, we can then teach them what we actually want them to know and just put it into song. And you do a beautiful job of that in your album. You address particular behaviors and topics that you want kiddos to learn. Can you give us a topic from your music that you decided to say, okay, kids should learn this? Maybe it's going to sleep, maybe whatever. And I wrote a song on that in order to get past anger, fear, defense, but rather land that emotional system of our kiddos into that playful, relaxed zone so that when they sing, they start to learn what we actually want them to learn.
Yeah, so I have a song that is directly about dealing with big feelings. It's set to kind of like a 50s heartache doo-wop kind of song. You start with three big feelings in my heart, almost bursting me apart. Three big feelings, stir and shout. Three big feelings all at one out. So it goes out, and now you've got two, and so on. That is like directly about feelings and letting it out in a safe way. We're expressing ourselves through music. It's fun. It also helps the brain realize this is a thing, it's a specific thing, a feeling that is different than others. And, we can let it out, feel
Hmm.
better.
Yeah, yeah. And there's ways to let it out, isn't there? So that
Yes.
we don't hurt somebody in the process. And kiddos
Mhm.
don't really understand, as young kids especially, they don't really understand how somebody else feels when they feel a certain way. When they hit, they know they're getting out a frustration, but they don't really understand the impact on another person and how they feel because of what they did. They're very, like,
Yeah.
they can think 6 inches from their body, but they can't seem to think further than that very well.
Yes. So definitely part of the process of learning regulation and safe ways to deal with big feelings for sure.
When I look at your album, one of the things that I noticed is that you did the Schoolhouse Rock song, Three is a Magic Number. One of the reasons that I particularly like kiddos to learn songs like that is because it's chock full of vocabulary. So when moms and dads read it, they may or may not remember Schoolhouse Rock because that wasn't popular in, let's say, 20 to 30 years ago. It was popular longer ago than that. It still gives moms and dads an idea of, oh, I can use all these words with my kids. We can pause the music and we can talk about this vocabulary. And
Mhm.
we can then look in a book and see some of the vocabulary. We can compare a story with a song. We can sing a story and it becomes a song.
Yeah, so 3 is a magic number. It's a great song. It brings in the concept of a family. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's an easy one for kids to get, mom, dad, baby, three.
Mm-hmm.
And then, oh, past, present, future.
Yeah.
Faith, hope, charity. What are those things? It broadens our vocabulary and is one more way to acquire that language. One of the songs on my album that I feel really proud about in terms of introducing vocabulary is a song called That's How I Can Make Equity. Equity is a word that talks about that's something that kids are learning, but it's a little different in terms of concept where we're sharing, but we're also thinking about what others need instead of just ourselves. I think a really important word, and felt proud that here's this song where we can talk about just this word and, ways that we can make equity very easy terms and hopefully grow that concept from a very young age.
100%. When I was raising my kids and they were small and I had words that I thought, how do I explain that word? And I could find music or I could find sentences and put them just into some ditty or song. It was so helpful. So when you make a song about a concept, equity is a big concept. And it's a concept that even adults are learning. So we can expand how we have an expression of equity by listening to your song, and it helps our brain as adults even to expand the way we think of it. Whenever you put something into an expression a child is going to understand, then you know you really know it.
Mhm.
You're able to get it really straightforward, plain, and simple. You do that beautifully. I haven't listened to this song, but I've listened to enough of your songs that I'm going to go back and listen to this song and see how you've done that. But I'm
Yeah.
sure it's fabulous. So I'm going to be listening to that after this interview. I've listened to many of your songs, and which is why I said, absolutely, I want you on this podcast. Moms and dads, if you have something that you are trying to teach your kiddos, there is so much power in music and the way that children's brains will relate to music so that they can take in a fuller concept, a fuller understanding of what you're trying to teach them. Now, let's go back into your early life as an individual. You had trouble learning language and learning to speak. It didn't come to you the typical way. Would you like to share some of that journey so that our moms and dads can think, oh, there's the typical learners, and then there's your atypical learners of language, and music reaches both?
Sure. So I don't I mean, I have a few early memories, and so a lot of my language learning I hear stories about, and my mom will say, "Oh, we worried about you," and um, you weren't talking. Some issues also with ear infections and tubes and them getting infected, and this fear of what's going on. How can we help? But what ended up happening was I had a period of silence, just wasn't talking.
How long?
As my mom says it, as a baby early on, I would babble, things seemed normal. But after that period, it was silence up to about 4 or 5. I started talking, as if I had been talking. So I was doing full sentences. So that's kind of how my language developed, and
Which is
not
atypical.
atypical, not typical.
It's not
Um,
typical. Mm-mm.
yes. Yeah, I remember being fascinated with sounds and, maybe doing a lot of listening. Um, but, even though I did start talking full sentences, and there was some issues with like, yeah, I mean, it wasn't, just started talking and everything was fine. There were some issues with enunciation, and it has been a challenge actually, my whole life, but it is something that with music and the way it's slowed down and the way um, I can hear the pitches, I can match the pitches, I can pick out patterns and not have to worry about using language as conversationally or getting all the sounds perfect, how I would have said them in a conversation. The music's really set, it's slow. I can use it kind of as like a safe space. That's actually how I viewed music,
That's
you
beautiful.
know.
A safe
Yes.
space.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Throughout my life, yeah, it's been my safe space. It's been, if I may say, a superpower of mine. I see that in so many of my students as well. And I've worked with students with disabilities in special education, and music is just amazing that way. Hmm.
It is. It's a beautiful bridge to get people from where they are to where they want to go and we want them to go. It,
Hmm.
it helps. And I really love the idea of it being a safe space because I think it speaks to the brain relaxes. You become calm in that music space. You lose your defenses. And so it's like the lesson can slip in. So it's not as directly learning where we might feel less safe. Can I learn it faster? Am I going to forget? Versus it just arrives and the rhythm is fun on the way. It's very good. I think a lot of our kids probably feel that way, so I'm glad you said that.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's very true.
Now, you won National Parenting Product Award. I would like you to tell us about that. That's so exciting. Congratulations.
Well, thank you so much. Yes. Yeah, it is a really big honor. It's actually my second one from them.
Oh,
My
wow.
second yeah, my second album also won that award. So this is my third album. So
You've
yes.
got 3 albums out, and I only
Yes.
knew about one of them and thought it was fabulous.
So yeah, National Parenting Product Awards are really awesome. It's a juried award, so having it go through that process and get some recognition is a big honor.
As a jury
Yeah.
award, does that mean that they're voted on by the experts in the area?
Yeah, so they have expert evaluators, and what's nice about the NAPA award is you get a little review of your product. You can go to NAPA's website and look at the audio category and music category. You can find my album there and a nice little review of it.
Nice, nice. That really attests to the quality of the music that you're putting out. And the one album I listened to, not knowing you had 3, that's so cool, I thought is absolutely spot on for the types of language development songs that are going to really impact our kids and grow them. And it works for all kids, but particularly helpful for when a kiddo is struggling. So thank you for putting that out into the world. That's huge. Something else you said when singing the songs in your early childhood circles, kiddos often say things that are related to the topics and unrelated. How do you find yourself expanding their language in that time?
Oh, that's a really great question. So sometimes I'm able to, bring it back around. So, um, try to think of a good example. So we're talking about fireflies this morning, and one student shared that they had a sleepover and they got to play with fireflies, but they didn't say they played with fireflies. They just said they had a sleepover. And so they remembered that their friend came over, they were playing, and so I brought it back around and I said, "Did you play with fireflies?" And they said, "Yes. Oh, we play with the fireflies. It went on our hands." And so that got them to make the connection a little bit further than, we had a sleepover. Yeah.
Sure, sure, absolutely. And just taking a topic like fireflies, you can talk with the kiddo about what they did, what they saw, what they felt, where they were, who was with them, all the different things. And you can do it in such a way you're not peppering questions, but rather conversation. Get them
Yes.
talking back and forth with you. So I love it. Fabulous. I would like you to tell our listeners how they can get a hold of you if they would like to follow you and your music. Maybe it's on Spotify or somewhere else. And how would they get a hold of you if they would like to talk with you directly?
Sure thing. Yeah, so I have a website. It's missmargosmusic.com. Yeah, so on my website, you'll find my email. You can contact me that way. I am on Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, wherever you can stream music. Connect with me on Instagram. You can sign up for my newsletter. Yeah, all
Nice.
kinds of things. Yeah.
So, listeners, be sure you check the show notes so you can get in contact with Margot. And Margot, I would like you to give one last thought for our parents.
Really actually loved how we are talking about music can be a safe space.
Mm,
I really think that's true for everybody, especially with little ones and processing our world right now in particular. Let's give kids that safe space and opportunity to learn and hopefully make this world a better place for the future,
love it.
for sure.
Thank you. Thank you for being here on the Language of Play with us, Margot. And may your recordings and songs just go everywhere into everyone's home.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah. And listeners, check the show notes to follow up with Margot. Also, for Clever Ellie, the car charger that talks to you, and to follow up with Real Prosperity Inc. so you can get the financial teaching you never got growing up. Hey parents, I hope you found this episode helpful. If so, would you please take 30 seconds and share it with a friend who also lives or works with children? I would really appreciate it if you would leave a quick review for the show on Apple Podcasts. I read every review, and it lights me up to know that this show is making a difference. Then come join my Facebook community, where you'll meet other parents who are dedicated to helping their children grow too. You'll find the link in the show notes. Thank you for joining me. Now it's time to go. Let's pop our kiddos in the strollers and go look around outdoors and see what we have to talk about.